Katherine and her husband to be are in a church getting married. It was arranged marriage because Katherine comes from a very poor family. Later at night, her maid Anna helps Katherine get undressed. She wonders if Katherine is nervous about consummating her marriage tonight. Katherine is not. Her husband Alexander walks in and asks if she is comfortable with everything. Alexander tells Katherine that she will stay within the house and not leave. Katherine protests this because she enjoys the outdoors. However, Alexander ignores her and commands her to remove her clothes. She does. Then Alexander turns off the lights and removes his clothes, but he just goes straight to sleep. Katherine stands there awkwardly in the dark. Much later, Katherine tries to get some fresh air while staying in the confines of house. Her days are monotonous and boring. Some days it just sits on the couch staring the fireplace. This calls her to doze off and to sleep. Katherine isn't treated as an equal to the men she ignored during dinners. Alexander's father, Boris, even tells Katherine that her duty is to make sure she supplies Alex with a meal, and so she must always die at night. When Alexander enters their bedrooms, he yells at Katherine to stand up, then commands Katherine to remove her clothes. He makes her face the wall while he sits in the corner walking his nana. He is able to relieve himself. One day, Alexander has left to attend to an exploration at coal mines. Boris says he will have to leave as well. Boris hopes that Katherine can regain her strength during this time, and he hopes that she can give Boris a son soon when he gets back. Once he leaves, Katherine feels free to do as she pleases. She opens the window and she immediately gives a sign of relief. She even explored the outside after being forced to stay in the confines of the house. During a nap, she is awakened by Anna yelling at a man. She sees a random man running, so she goes to see what is going on. She goes to the quarters of the man, then walks for Alexander. Katherine is upset with the man fooling around while getting paid. Then she shocked to see Anna hanging from ceiling. Sebastian says they're just weighing her. She demands them to let Anna down. She tells all men to face the wall. Anna rushes out as fast as she can. Meanwhile, Katherine starts at Sebastian intently. Katherine asks how much she could weigh. Sebastian goes to her and grabs her to pull her in the sling. Katherine is upset about this though and is able to escape Sebastian's grasp. Before she leaves, she tells them that she will keep a close eye on them because they're wasting her husband's money by fooling around. Later, Katherine goes to Anna, asks her what the man's name was. Katherine has no regard to how Anna was feeling. Anna is panicked after being violated by the man, but Katherine just shows her interest and concerns about Sebastian. When Katherine leaves, Anna cries in the morning. Katherine is out on field and Sebastian wonders if she's lost. Katherine ignores him, though he keeps walking. Later that night, Katherine hears a knock at her door. If Sebastian tells her that he was bored, he tries to get into her room, but Katherine tries to push the door closed. Sebastian is able to overpower her and ask if she is bored. Sebastian tries to force himself onto Katherine, but she fights back. Eventually, Katherine cannot fight her urges anymore and lunges at Sebastian willingly. The two do the deed, just lasting less than 20 seconds. The next day, Katherine and Sebastian do it again. Later, Father Peter pays her visit. He wonders why the Katherine has not been attending the church, so he admits that it has her health. He advises her just stay indoors. Katherine looks to Anna and deduces that Anna must have told Father Peter she's out exploring a lot. As soon as he leaves, Katherine does it Sebastian again. Meanwhile, Anna goes to woods alone to harvest some mushrooms. Sebastian interrupts her. He is out walking the dog and he sees the dog shouldn't be tied up too long, else they could go wild. Anna agrees and sees the dog was indeed tied up for too long. However, she is referring to the Katherine. Anna tells Sebastian if Alexander were to find out, he would be upset. Sebastian ignores her warning and goes to Katherine to do it again. Anna watches from the key peephole in the hallway and eventually leaves when Sebastian looks at the door. Later, Anna warns Katherine that Boris returned, and this alerts Katherine to do her really boring task as she did before. Finally, at the dinner, the two catch up. He wonders where Alexander is, but the Katherine does not know either. Boris asks Anna to bring the special bottle of wine. However, Katherine drinks every bottle. Boris wonders how it's all gone. Anna doesn't reveal the truth about the Katherine drinking it all. Boris demands Anna to get down on her knees so that he can treat her like an animal. She crawls away when the Boris dismisses. Katherine just watches during all this. She does not care about Anna's well-being. The next day, Boris goes up to Sebastian and repeatedly hit him hard. He asks Edward lock him up. When Katherine hears the news, she goes looking for him. Later, Boris lectures Katherine on everything she's done. He says Katherine has brought his family shame. Katherine demands Boris to let Sebastian out. However, Boris does not listen. He calls Katherine a failure for not giving Alexander legitimate heir. Then he slaps Catherine so hard her poor sisters felt it. Then sometimes later Catherine asks Boris to let Sebastian go. Boris throws glass and refuses to do so. When Boris leaves to the bathroom, Catherine decides to lock him in by popping a chair on the doorknob. Catherine asks Anna to sit down and eat with her. She finally asks Anna to tell her about herself. Meanwhile, the groans from the bathroom can be heard. Anna tries to go help the Boris, but Catherine demands asks to sit down. It implied that Catherine has poisoned Boris, so when he grunts for help stop, Catherine tells Anna to go to town and grab a doctor, so Anna rushes out. Meanwhile, Catherine goes to Sebastian to free him. Once Anna has brought the doctor over, it's too late. Boris is dead. Anna screams in the pain and agony, and after being forced to play with these rich people's game, much later Catherine receives a letter from Alexander saying he won't be returning for his father's funeral. Catherine hopes Alexander won't ever return. During the funeral, Catherine poses with her dead stepdad, and Anna then stares at her, knowing that what Catherine has done. Eventually, Sebastian cleaned up looking like fun piece. Excuse me, Catherine calls him the man of the house. Later, Catherine tells Anna that she will be asking different ways to bring all her food from now on as precaution. This makes Anna upset and she beats the door pretty hard, and the other tells her not to blame herself because Boris was old. It might have been the wrong mushrooms. It's revealed that Anna hasn't been speaking. She becomes mute. Sebastian is worried that Anna may start speaking again, but Catherine says she won't. Catherine wonders if Sebastian loved her. He admits that he does. She says that she will never be part of Sebastian and she would rather die separated from him. In the middle of the night, Catherine wakes up to a noise outside. She realizes that her husband has come home, so she tells Sebastian to hurry up and get dressed. She hides Sebastian in the closet and Alexander enters. Alexander finds a belt on the floor. Catherine lies about finding in the field. Then Alexander criticizes Catherine for going fat. Catherine tries to get him out of the room by offering some tea. However, he stays in the room and Catherine serves him the tea. They have the two drink. Alexander finally admits that he knows that Catherine has been hovering around. He sees Catherine has been spreading her legs so wide that he was able to find out miles away. Alexander reminded her that Boris had bought Catherine for less than the cost of cow. He feels humiliated and wants Catherine to change her ways of staying in the house and reading her prayer book. Catherine is so pissed about this, so she gets up and grabs Sebastian from the closet. She decided to lay Sebastian on the bed and mount him while Alexander watches. Alexander does not take too long to get up and slap Catherine. Sebastian and Alexander begin to wrestle. Alexander decided to bite Sebastian like this pisses Catherine off and she hits him hard. Then she keeps hitting him even afterwards. That Sebastian decided to bury the body in the woods. Catherine grabs the horse and shouts at the force blows her black. The horse is so large that they won't able to dig a grave for it. Catherine thinks it's a good idea just to pile up dirt over it. After doing all this, Sebastian has trouble sleeping because he constantly sees Alexander's face and wonders how Catherine is able to move on so quickly from the traumatic experience. Catherine reminds him that they did it together to preserve their love because Alexander was going to kill him. They mount each other again and do it again. The next morning, Catherine and Sebastian has breakfast together while Anna served them tea. After days, the horse is decomposing badly since it's badly hidden. It's pretty much plain sight. Sometime later, Agnes goes to Catherine to let her know that Alexander had slept with her daughter and father did whining Teddy. Apparently, Alexander has been staying with Agnes with her daughter until the daughter died. Alexander became the Teddy's legal guardian and Agnes has a paperwork to prove it. Agnes then tells Catherine that Alexander was headed to his estate and suddenly disappeared. She assumes he's dead. However, Catherine does not think so. He's just missing. She says Anna is listening to a juicy conversation and she pretends to tend the food. Eventually, Agnes and Teddy both move in. Sebastian thinks that Agnes is lying. However, Catherine reassures him that they have no legitimate paperwork. Sebastian is confused as how Alexander was even able to have a child with someone else because Alexander never touched Catherine. During the dinner, Agnes tells Catherine that Teddy will take over Catherine's room. Catherine eventually agrees but says she will take over Agnes' rooms one day. Teddy sweetly asks Catherine if he can come explore the fields with her. She obliges. Teddy compliments Catherine's beauty. He is super sweet choice. Meanwhile, Sebastian is back living with the rest of the men in the dirty barracks. He sees Agnes in the woods one day and asks to join her. Agnes is a little scared but allows it. One day, Anna catches Catherine inspecting her pregnant body. She decides to go to Sebastian to tell him the good news. However, Sebastian pushes her away because he doesn't want to be hanged. He says as long as Teddy is around, Sebastian will remain in his barracks. Much later, Catherine tries to call Sebastian. Teddy interrupts her thought. Then Catherine decided to push the boy off to her. He cries while running away. Catherine calls Sebastian again and she ignored. News breaks out that the boy is missing. Everyone in the house goes looking for him in the woods. Sebastian is able to locate Teddy, who is sitting by a raging river right by the waterfall. Then at night, while everyone sits by the fire, Sebastian walks in with the Teddy. He starts ordering them to grab the blankets for the boy. However, Agnes tells him that to get out of the house because he's nobody urging people around. Catherine turns to Sebastian, who is now packing up to leave. Catherine says she will do anything to keep him from leaving. leaving. Sebastian admits that he had perfect seating to push the boy down the waterfall, but it's too late now. Catherine tells him that it's not too late. Catherine goes to Agnes and tells her to get some rest and she can watch over Teddy. Agnes thanks Catherine as she leaves the room. Catherine looks over Teddy with disgust and she allows Sebastian to enter the room. Then Teddy wakes up from his slumber. He is confused that Catherine tries to pull him, then she pillow over his face and he struggles and screams. Sebastian goes over to help Catherine suffocate the boy. Once he turns, Sebastian assaults us to the point for him to realize what has happened. Catherine sits on the chair sobbing, pretending to be so. Later, Anna walks in the room, realizes that he is dead. Meanwhile, Sebastian is in the woods crying over what has happened. When Agnes finds out she isn't able to contain her cries, Dr. Burden questions Catherine what exactly happened. Catherine says that she fell asleep for 10 minutes. Eventually, Teddy had stopped breathing. She said she had discovered it right before Anna had walked into the room at 5 o'clock. Dr. Burden wonders if Catherine was asleep for longer and someone else had come into the room and suffocated the boy. Dr. Burden comments about Teddy's bruises. Catherine quick to defend that bruises came from the waterfall. However, Dr. Burden says the bruises were not there before. Later, a group of them continue to wonder how everything happened. Catherine tries to dismiss every theories. Then Sebastian enters the room and confesses everything, including how Catherine used the pillow to suffocate Teddy. He also tells them that how Catherine killed Alexander and how she was embarrassed with mushrooms. Sebastian admits that Catherine's motive was for them to be together, but he felt suffocated by her. He calls Catherine for a disease. Catherine says Sebastian is lying. So he tries to launch her, but two men hold him back. Catherine said that it was Anna and Sebastian who did this, but she doubles down on the lie and said Anna is one of the who picks mushroom and Anna Sebastian had a secret relationship. She said Boris had beaten Sebastian before he died, which is enough motive to kill someone. Then Catherine puts on a performance of last and says that he was like a child to her. Agnes goes to Catherine to hold her hand, and when Anna hears the accusation, she dumbfounded but can't speak. Catherine stares at her with a fearlessness in her eyes. Anna decided that her fate and remains quiet. Anna and Sebastian are then brought away from the crimes. Eventually, Catherine remains in the house as Agnes leaves. Catherine is pregnant but looks empty and void of any emotion. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification and leave a like. It really helps the channel.